So we have another amazing guest with us here at the Clinton Global Initiatives, part of Climate Week NYC, here in the wonderful city of New York in the United States of America. Please tell me, what is your name and where are you from?
I'm Christoph Wolff. I am the CEO of the Smart Freight Center. And the Smart Freight Center is an NGO based in Amsterdam that is committed to decarbonization world's supply chains.
Okay, super. And you're here at the Clinton Global Initiatives. Are you making a commitment here at this event? And if so, what is it?
Yes, we do make a commitment. And the theme of the Clinton Global Initiative is very much in line with what the Smart Freight Center is doing. So over the last 10 years, we were the organization that set the framework for emissions accounting of the freight sector on land transport, sea and air. Mm-hmm. And now we have added a platform for action. So where we bring together big shippers that collaborate to electrify corridors, to purchase sustainable aviation fuels, and to do other things to radically decarbonize supply chains. Mm.
So are there names of companies that people might know?
I mean, these are basically any large shipper, no matter if it's IKEA, Procter & Gamble, mm-hmm. Unilever, Mars, Heineken, mm-hmm. You name them.
Big household names,
basically
mm-hmm.
all the big household names that are the world's largest shippers, they're all part of this.
Right. And it's a global
network? It is global. It's mm-hmm. global. We have our team is in Amsterdam, but we have a group in China. We have folks that work with our US members, and we are just building a group in India and are looking for ways how we can actually expand our scope towards emerging markets more broadly.
Interesting. Climate change is a topic which probably for you and for me has accompanied our lives for a long time, but it seems that right now awareness of the challenges of climate change seem to be much higher than perhaps they've ever been. Whether this translates into policy and full-blooded action is always the question mark. But are you optimistic that humanity can solve this problem?
Well, I think this goes beyond optimism at this stage. Yeah, mm-hmm. So we just have to do it. You know, there's no alternative, mm-hmm. and we do see serious policy action now. I mean, we have seen it starting in Paris, but obviously the global negotiated conferences will only get so much. Mm-hmm. But what I find encouraging is that industry gets on the bandwagon, and electrification of transport and mobility is actually a trend that is, the train has left the station. Yeah. And mm-hmm. This is taking speed, and it has to take speed, mm-hmm. otherwise we won't be solving the climate crisis.
Yeah. It's very interesting. One of our regular guests on our show is Scania, and of course they're moving aggressively on electrifying their trucks. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing on the policy there seems to be that within, say, Sweden, they can find or are developing the charging stations for these big trucks, but they're not sure that all the European Union countries are collaborating, so you could take a big truck from, say, Stockholm all the way to, say, Madrid. Yeah. So that there are still these areas that need to be filled in terms of policy, aren't there? And I suppose that's important with your organization to push for these kinds of changes.
Yeah, we've spoken today a lot about the Green Deals, mm-hmm. yeah, and there's a new Green Deal, and there has been the Green Deal for the last 2 years mm-hmm. that the Commission is working on, and the topic currently is heavy-duty transport. And the CO2 fleet limits on CO2 transport in heavy duty are being tightened, and that will force the fleet providers to decarbonize and to move towards either electric or maybe some of them at hydrogen, yes. depending on the fleet topic. And, yes. And we see now consortia building charging stations, including the grid reinforcements along major corridors in Europe. And Scania is part of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's also, well, interesting enough, heavy-duty transport has always been a Swedish specialty.
Yeah, it seems to be, yeah. You've got a lot of other players there, like Volvo and things like that.
But
so,
also
yeah.
on the innovation side, you've got companies like Volta Trucks, that is actually Swedish-inspired. You've got Einride that's building platforms.
Yes, Einride, that's an unusual
so
one.
There's actually a lot of cool companies out of Sweden.
For sure.
That work on this.
Christoph, we don't have time. All the people that engage in our platform, they can send climate warnings or climate ideas out, and people respond to that. But they can also sometimes, we get people that send climate love to a government or an organization or a person or an institution, somebody they feel deserves a bit of a pat on the back for doing, going above and beyond the normal. So I just wondered, if you wanted to give a climate love to anybody, anything, any organization,
Yes, so the Smart Freight Center is working on road transport, but it's also works on maritime and on air transport. And until 3 years ago, before flight shaming became a household name, air transport was the hardest to abate. But now this is turning around. And not only do we have within the Green Deal progressive regulations in Europe, asking for a mandate, but we actually see that countries around the globe can now produce their own sustainable aviation fuel and become fuel producers. And a sector that so far has been very much monopolized by a few basically oil-producing countries gets now democratized across the world. So I think this is a moment when development and environment actually are coming together, and this is great for the planet.
Right.
So this goes to Greta Thunberg. So for basically with creating flight shaming and waking up a whole industry, and that has now felt the heat of consumers. I've had with my boys until today conversations at the dinner table that we can't go anywhere by flight, because it's not right for the planet, and but there's solutions now, and so I'm proud that we are part of developing this and that we can over time fly with good conscience.
Good. So to Greta Thunberg and also to the aviation sector for actually hearing these calls for change and starting to step up
Absolutely.
their ambition. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you, Christoph.
Sure. Thank you.